السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Inshallah ta'ala, before we start the first session in fiqh, continuing from Ar-Rawd al-Murba', this is the first session in the third year. Alhamdulillah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us and make it easy that we continue to be firm upon the path of talab al-ilm, seeking the knowledge of the Quran and the Sunnah of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam. And as a reminder, inshallah ta'ala, for myself and everyone, to be upon al-ikhlas, to seek the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, and not to have ujb or to like ourselves or to like our actions, but rather to focus on the favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala upon us. And that, as Imam Shafi'i rahimahullah, when he said, in the meanings of which, that whoever doesn't want to have ujb, which is to like one's actions, to be thinking that it's because of one's will and effort and so on, let him look to who is he seeking the rewards from. If you seek the rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala laysa kamithli shay. Nothing is the like of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So a person would always attribute everything to Allah, and to have both the fear and the hope. The fear of Allah that this can be taken away from us if we don't give it its rights, and the hope for the rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that the issue here is not to achieve a certificate or to attain it or to pass an exam, because really when you look at it, the exams in general, it's tazkiyah. When someone, say for example, get the highest grade in any form of education, one of which is the al-ilm al-shar'i. Someone goes to college and he learns, for example, the matters of deen. It becomes, which is has to stay in the proper way, that the tazkiyah, or the person is praiseworthy, or his credentials is based on the exams, which is not amal. The exams, or a person studying and writing on a paper or making sure that he got 100%, that's qawl, that's speech, that's memorizing. Anybody can attain, anybody can do this. But in which, in the early times of Al-Islam, in the early generations of Al-Islam, there was no exams, there was no tests, but rather it was the tazkiyah with one's speech and actions. It was the fact that they learned, because that's what the purpose of it, and they acted upon what they've learned. So this is something that we have to make sure that we have this in our hearts, and that we seek the knowledge, so that we have the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Otherwise, as one of the early generations of Islam, Wahb ibn Munabbih, when he said, "Inna lil-ilmi tughyanan ka tughyan al-mal." Knowledge has tughyan, transgression, like the wealth does to the person. So a person has to have more zuhd of this dunya, turning away from the pleasure, seeking pleasure of this worldly life, but rather seek the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone with the knowledge that we seek. So as a result of that, inshallah ta'ala, briefly, this is just an introduction to this third year. We always need to be reminded the importance of talabul ilm, and seeking knowledge with whatever means we have. Alhamdulillah, we have to go through all of these means, inshallah. And that we have to have that need in our hearts, that it's more important than the food and the drink that we eat. As Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, he says, and this is the quote from Imam Ahmad, that people are more in need of knowledge than food and drink. For food and drink are needed once or twice a day, but knowledge is needed at all times, especially in these times of fitan. And the reason why there are fitan is because of the lack of knowledge, or the scarcity of knowledge. And the knowledge is not something that you would find on a tree, for example, or not even in the books. The knowledge is in the hearts of the learned people, in their hearts and actions. So to learn it, to act upon it, and to spread it, and to teach it to others, and to keep the deen alive in the hearts of ourselves and others by reviving what people had maybe forgotten or turned away from as a result of ignorance. So the many people they ask, where are we at this point when it comes to the third year? And some people might be not with us from before, and I wish we were physically present, but this is still valid. Is anyone here with us now that this is their first time attending in the Arqam or the Madarij or so? Or everyone here is already been with us in the past 2 years or have an idea what we're doing? Is anyone this is their first time? I just ask this question. If it is, just raise your hand if you're too shy to say anything. Just give me a sign that this is your first time. If not, then continue, inshallah. طيب, because this is not only meant for those who are already present, but this or took some classes before. Someone might want to join from at this point, sure, but with prerequisites, inshallah ta'ala. So this is basically what we're in here now. This is just to have an overall. We finished 2 years so far, and the launching of the Madarij, which is coming, it's this we are part of it, inshallah ta'ala. So it's supposed to be like the first 2 years. These are type of the essentials and the matter of the foundation of things, which is the bina, the building the structure. And as if you remember, the first year was most of it was in English, and I'm speaking now in English. And then through the second year and both years, we go through the text. And this is what this program is about. It's not about the teacher. It's about the text that we study. So that's what needs to stay with us. So the books that the ulama agreed upon, that these books are books of knowledge. So we go through these mutun word by word. And when we discuss it word by word, that means it's expected that we know these words. And with some of the Arabic that we learn from before, we're taking ourselves one stage after the other, so that hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, we are transformed completely to the language of al-ilm, which is the Arabic language. So that's why starting the third year, inshallah ta'ala, as we will see, this will be continuing, but we already been in the second year with the books that we're studying, and adding some of the things also with it, with some of the ulum al-Quran and others. But the main books are there, but more emphasis onto the Arabic language. Even some of the sharh, some of the explanation might be with some Arabic. And that requires for each and every one of you, inshallah ta'ala, to pay attention to the lectures. And if there's something that is not understood or you skipped or a word, then you can ask, because we'll be given more assignments and more towards the Arabic language. So hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, by now that we have more understanding of the Arabic language. But still, never give up, but keep on working on understanding some of the words, but the structure of the sentence, understanding the overall what is being meant. This is important, and that's why going beyond and reading more, understanding more of the Arabic, and this is what is mentioned here, increasing the Arabic emphasis. So this is something that should be unique, inshallah ta'ala, in that stage, in that third year. By continuing what we already, for example, in Ma'arij al-Qabul, we're studying the second volume. We'll go faster, inshallah ta'ala, in Ma'arij al-Qabul, because it's going to be reading assignments and more efforts, inshallah ta'ala, to be done in there. And with the Rawd al-Murbi' that, inshallah ta'ala, will start in a few minutes. We're continuing with where we stopped in Sifatul Salah. We'll continue to do the same thing, but we'll try to see if there is less English and more Arabic, and see how our understanding, inshallah ta'ala, and adding some words. Sometimes that it becomes difficult for me. I feel like if someone is not able is not understanding everything, I find myself compelled when I'm giving the sharh that I would use English. So you have to help me with this. Inshallah, you have to give me the feel that, mashallah, it's understood. If it's not, then it's, of course, the objective is to understand what is being said. Right? But now we're being in the level of seriously studying the deen. So studying deen, continuing with the English language is not going to be very good for a student, because we're supposed to be given the keys. All of this is to be given the keys of understanding the knowledge, so that the person would be on their own to a great extent to research matters and to understand things. And of course, being on our own, that means we still refer to the people of knowledge, and we take ourselves to the level where we attend the sessions of the scholars of the deen. And that's why some of the assignments might be listening to some of the lectures of the great scholars, those who are present or those who passed in the same subject, those who explain these books, because these books, alhamdulillah, are well served. So to listen to their some of their explanation, and to come back and see if what's not clear and what needs to be emphasized and things like this. So this is, inshallah ta'ala, where we stand here. And that, inshallah ta'ala, to be continued with now. So now we are in the stage of having this ta'sil, or establishing the status of understanding the masail in more of a scientific or a matters of ilm. And then after that, inshallah ta'ala, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us the help that we will be in the level of rusukh, to be well established in ilm, inshallah ta'ala. Then after that, inshallah ta'ala, as you see here, the same texts are used. So معارج القبول, روض المربع, تفسير الإمام السعدي, and the Tuhfa الثانية, because we didn't finish them. But will again, the style of teaching it will excel more into the Arabic language, inshallah, and giving some of the assignments with listening to some of the scholars, inshallah ta'ala. And it's not going to be distracting, but it's more to establish the language of knowledge, so that we understand this and take us to another level, inshallah. And that's why, yani, hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, everyone will be eager, inshallah, to make sure that they follow with the matters of studying and the homework, and to have this accountability, inshallah. It's not about, again, we tend to think that it's to have exams and to make sure that we're checked, and if someone is not doing their work, this is good, of course, but we're supposed to, this is ibadah. We don't make exams for the salawat, 5 daily salah. Did you make the salah? Oh, mashallah, you got an A plus or you got a C. It's ibadah between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's what talabul ilm is, ibadah. And if we don't have this, then there's many other things that we can do in our life, which is good still, mashallah. Not everybody has to take this path of knowledge, but it's the highest and it's the best, of course, and it's the most important thing to seek. But unless we have it in ourselves, each and every one of us, then we should really make sure that we use our time in the best way. And that's why this issue of the Arabic language here, it's as it's mentioned here, 60 to 70%. It's not about the percentage here, but we'll see, inshallah ta'ala. So less English and more Arabic, inshallah. And if you don't understand something, this is where the effort. And with knowledge, with seeking knowledge, the more effort you do, the more times that you find, you're not able to understand something. So to unlock what you don't understand, this is how the knowledge is retained and established in one's heart. And to act upon it, of course, and that's the barakah. This is how it's established in the heart. So also making sure the notes are extremely important. So if you attend the classes without taking notes, you're wasting your time. So making sure that we have notes, and even though the way that we study things now tend us to make it lazy by you can listen to the lecture later, things like this. But don't rely upon this, inshallah. Do the best you can that you attend live and take the notes. And deal with it, treat it as if we are present physically, and inshallah that requires also that sometimes we need to sacrifice a little bit and come physically present in the masjid, and not all the time, but we'll announce these types of things, so that also there's a physical interaction. And this is one of the things that we need to really be upon. And I want to point this out, inshallah, that it's more, of course, especially with the brothers here. I'm talking about the brothers, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for the sisters. But for the brothers, we need to have this one-to-one kind of a relationship in seeking the knowledge, because again, it's not just about listening or understanding and that's it. No, there has to be the level of I don't know, we learn from one another. So we'll see, inshallah, how also to establish this with communication, not just virtually, but to be also be able to be physically present and to be prepared, inshallah ta'ala, for assignments and things like this, but to that's part of the class attendance, and also the presence, or having we get to know each other. I want to know the names, not just looking here on. See, imagine that we are physically present in the masjid. So knowing each and every one of us, uh, making sure that if there's issues in matters of al-istiqama, steadfastness upon the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that we fix these types of things. Not just what we're studying, but more than that. A person has some issues in their deen matters that needs to be fixed, because again, this is a person has to make sure that the ilm does not become against us. So we have to, our conduct, our actions, our behavior should be according to the way of as-Salaf al-Salih, the early generations of Islam, and not just to have some knowledge and information and things like this. So make sure that, but not like we're wasting each other's time and saying stories and things like this. No, but to make sure that there is this level of communication, inshallah, that needs to be there for the benefit, inshallah. That's why that, as you see here, there is some part of, if a person wants to listen, mashallah, no problem. But without present life in the lectures and so on, no problem in this, inshallah. And this issue of certification, we're not really concerned about that, but it's again, it's a certification of that means that we know each other, that a person is known to the best of our ability. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what's in the hearts. When someone asks for a tazkiyah, for example, to go to a school or something like this is amana, this is a trust. So to know one another more, to we're away from what many people would be indulged in. This is something that will be discussed, inshallah. That means the 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 social aspect of things that people have when it comes to being on the internet and all of these things that people are indulged in. This is not the way of the people of knowledge, and that's why this things that is happening on the internet with students of knowledge or people that are du'a, we're away from all of this, inshallah ta'ala. And we have to make sure that this is, if you're with us on that, mashallah, we continue so that we're focused and not distracted. But if a person is going to be busy with these types of distractions and listening to this person and that person and the arguments of that person and the debate of these people together, and being always watching whatever happens on the face of earth and constantly checking the news day and night, then we'll waste each other time. And to be asked about contemporary issues and this and that, most of it is distracting, and it's not really of any benefit whatsoever. And this is all an industry that we need to stay away from being affected by it. So part of being that, which is an important matter here, that we need to make sure that as people, when they go to job interviews, they check their social networks and accounts and things like this to see what they're upon and what they say and what they present as themselves. This is also something that we're going to make sure, inshallah ta'ala, that we have together. And again, it's not like we're going after people, but we're not going to be in these types of situations, inshallah. I hope it's clear what I've said. But again, to focus on seeking the knowledge and the knowledge that comes with it, also the ibadah. Life is very precious. And if there is a way to purchase time from others if people want to waste their time. But this is not how life is. As some had mentioned, some of the meanings of this. If time can be purchased with money, this is the best thing that you can do to yourself. Someone is not really doesn't care about his time, how he spend it. So give us some of that and we'll purchase it, we'll pay money for it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not create us this way. So a student of knowledge is not someone that wastes his life in the nonsense that is out there. We have many rights in our life. There is birrul walidain, right, kindness to the parents. If someone is married, there is the rights of the spouses. Many of us are having children, raising children. So already there is the distractions from the knowledge are so many, but these are not distractions. These are acts of obedience to Allah that should the seeking knowledge should affect these relationships and these things that we live in. But to be distracted by other things, it's going to affect the ilm. It's going to affect the knowledge that we learn. So that's from the very beginning. We're not concerned about numbers. It's not about numbers. It's about the human beings that we need to be and to purify our hearts and to make sure that we do it the right way, the way that it's supposed to be. As some of the early generations of Islam, Nisari and others, when they said, كان العلم في القلوب, the knowledge that used to be in the hearts, right? But then afterwards it becomes into the hay'ah, into the appearance of the person. When one of the signs of the hour, that the ilm becomes in the appearance, how a person look and people how they perceive him and so on. Al-ilm is this ibadah that we need to seek from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be upon what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from us. And that's why we have to follow the ulama, listen to the people of knowledge, and not each and everyone have their own ways of understanding of things, inshallah. So this is, again, with what's mentioned here, this is what is the difference between being in the former student track versus the participant track. And for the former ones and everyone else, again, is welcomed, inshallah ta'ala, to benefit. The issue of the attendance, inshallah, to one's best ability. And we've been always having the attendance code and things like this to make sure that everybody's attending. And the memorization of the texts, which is something that we need to start to give more attention to. But that if someone is having difficulty in the memorization, that should not turn them away from the being formally studying. As long as, again, the understanding is there, and it's I'm not discouraging from memorization, because without memorization, really the knowledge becomes of a weak status there. So it's do the best you can, inshallah, and we'll also make sure that this is done in a prompt way, inshallah. The issue of the homeworks and the reviews and things like this is something that hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, in this year we'll see more. So making sure that we also the accountability on a personal level. So it's not about having the homeworks graded or quizzes and so on. No, it's about the effort that we have to put, inshallah, individually. And if in free time and with the Arabic learning, don't be just satisfied with these things that were very limited here in the Arabic language in the courses, especially when we're just doing the Tuhfa as-Saniyya. But rather do more of the Arabic language and learning. And if you can do that on your own, from credible sources, to make sure that you're working on the Arabic language, and use the mutun that we're studying to learn the Arabic in the proper way, and to practice what you learn as far as the qawa'id, because the Arabic language, and we'll do that, inshallah ta'ala, through whatever is left in years, inshallah. It's not just the nahu, it's not just the grammar, and the sarf only, but there is the balagha and the bayan and the badi' and all of these types of and even with shi'r, with poetry. This is something that needs to be done so that we know the language of the Arabs, that we're seeking knowledge with the language of the Arabic language, inshallah. The program, as far as the schedule, it took a long time here. It's the same as we had in the previous year, inshallah. So the Saturday, Wednesday, where the Aqidah is, and it's usually the time is around Maghrib or after Isha. It depends on the time. So to make sure that also that we adjust the times accordingly. Some of you might not be in Chicago, so it It's understanding, of course, that you might miss some of the classes because of the salah. Of course, the salah comes first. Otherwise, what's the benefit of seeking knowledge if we neglect our obligations? And this is can be also dealt with, inshallah, on an individual basis when it comes to things that are preventing us, inshallah. And the Mondays and Thursdays where the fiqh is there and Rawd al-Murbi' and studying it. And if you, this is the first time that you're studying now and we stopped at Kitab Sifatul Salah, then it's upon you that you study the first from the beginning of the book of the Tahara and the beginning part of Kitab al-Salah to make sure that you study that, inshallah. And also the tafsir, the daily, except Sunday and sometimes Tuesday, sometimes Friday, depends on the time differences. So just to pay attention, and that's why some people, they don't like the daily reminders or the class times. It's just because of sometimes the time changes and things like this. So be patient with that, inshallah. And at the same time, if the announcement is a little bit late, it's the norm is that there is classes, inshallah, according to these times. طيب, and with the al-ajrumiyya, and there are more things to be added, and that's one of the things, inshallah ta'ala, if you also want to know the roadmap of all of the books that we study, from the very beginning to the end, the list of the books, every subject should be, inshallah, will be sent to everyone to make sure again that these are the books that we're going to cover, inshallah ta'ala, with adding to this ulum al-Quran and mustalah al-hadith and other subjects, inshallah. As far as the issues of the logistics and the support, first of all, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward the brothers that are working, mashallah, very hard. And I want to say behind the scenes, they are in the scene, mashallah. And Brother Abdullah, Jazakumullah khairan for preparing these slides, mashallah. This is not my work. I can't do these types of things, mashallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you, Brother Tamer and others. And mashallah, the work, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward them, and they don't expect for me to say anything about them. It's all about the rewards, inshallah. But man lam yashkur an-nas la yashkur Allah. So we have to make sure that whenever the issues of the managing the whole situation and the life and the online, make sure that you know these things, and the brothers will answer questions. And there's the email for the Arqam, and there's the groups also for if someone, we want to make sure that nothing is unclear, everything, anyone that has any questions to be answered, and to make sure that it's part of helping one another to make sure that things are done in the right way, in the way that we intended, again, because this is not necessarily going to be the like of other ways of studying, where without this personal development of relationship to really to act upon what we learn. And the issue of the Google Classroom and the links and the readings, and to make sure that you pay attention to what's in the accounts, and without waiting for everything to be sent as a reminder. So to use more the Google Classroom to know what's expected, and to be patient also with that, inshallah, and the WhatsApp groups, inshallah, to make sure that things are be done in the right way. As far as this is, inshallah ta'ala, the first day of class, and this is here, hopefully we expected, inshallah, to may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us life till next September, inshallah. And in between, as you see, there is the times where there's no classes because of Eid al-Adha and Ramadan, Eid al-Fitr, and things like this, inshallah. So hopefully this is clear, and this is the link if you want to join the WhatsApp group, and Brother Abdullah can answer some of these questions, the logistic ones, inshallah. Again, this is if you're new on the program. I'm not sure if someone had mentioned that they are new, but we'll see the questions, inshallah. So if you attend, inshallah, and if you have understanding of Arabic to a greatest extent, mashallah, this is good. And plus, to work on what you missed from the books of Ma'arij al-Qabul and Rawd al-Murbi'. And you can do it in your own pace, because it doesn't have to refer back to this sometimes, of course, but we have to make sure that it's covered, inshallah. This is basically just to mention that, inshallah. And the issue of al-Madarij that is supposed to start in November, inshallah, this is basically these 2 years that we already covered. by some just little bit changes here and there. So we are part of the Madarij programs. So we are in the third year of it. So those who will start in November, inshallah, they're studying over, right? And now we're in the third year, and then there's, it's supposed to be from all the way to 6 years or more, inshallah. We'll see. But it's this, inshallah. So hopefully, inshallah ta'ala, things are easy. And if you, this is the website, and things we're still working on it, inshallah. So be patient with how the changes are, inshallah. I took too much of the time. We're supposed to start the first session now, inshallah. But let me see if you have any questions, if I'm able to answer it, or I can ask some of the brothers to answer, inshallah. طيب, so okay, so the Madarish program, meaning the first 2 years, which is starting in November, you don't have to have knowledge in Arabic. So if you don't have an understanding of at least 60% of what is being said in Arabic, then it's of course it's advisable to start from the very beginning, inshallah, which is starting November, inshallah. If you have the understanding of the Arabic and you're able to catch up, inshallah ta'ala, with what we're doing, then mashallah, join here, inshallah. This is the third year. نعم. بارك الله فيكم, جزاكم الله خير. طيب, here's the link of the Google Classroom, mashallah. It says, I'm not very regular in your class due to a job, no excuse. Barakallahu fikum. 2 days, you mentioned mandatory, and can we explain if time allowed how I achieve and source, what should I do? Now, if you're, again, it's an individual thing. So if you want to do it, inshallah ta'ala, no problem. And make sure that you would either attend the class live, or if you're not able to, make sure that you listen to the class, you take notes, you study, and with communication, inshallah ta'ala, to make sure that things are understood. And if you have this, mashallah, keep going, inshallah, and let me know if if there's issues, if you're not able to continue because of you're being busy, and there's always the participant part where you can still attend, inshallah. But make sure that we have this level of communication, inshallah. Maybe things can be fixed and we can work on it, inshallah. Barakallah fikum. Any questions? So we have maybe 20 minutes till we stop because of Salatul Isha. So if there's no more questions, let's start, inshallah, with Ar-Rawd al-Murbi', continuing from it, even for a short period of time, short class, inshallah, so that also you can see how things would be. And the assignments is not going to be from today, inshallah. So again, as I said, I'll try, inshallah ta'ala, to speak more in Arabic. And if you don't understand, this is because I don't see you. So make sure that whatever I'm saying, and if something that you didn't catch, you didn't understand, make sure that you write it down. So taking notes is important. So you're not just responsible for the matn, some of the things that I might say in Arabic, and I would add English to it, inshallah, so that you take notes, inshallah. And hopefully in the classes we'll have at the end longer time, it depends. You can show me that interest if you have any questions towards the end, so that we make sure that we answer it, inshallah. And if not in the class, in the next class, things might not be clear. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy, inshallah.